3, and we are live.
Hello.
Hey, everybody.
Hi, everyone. Hello to all of our internet friends and webcomic fans. As always, it's your friendly neighborhood dungeon biologist bringing you another steaming helping of Trash Heroes, the Dungeons & Dragons stream wherein we recount the epic adventures of this wildly improbable collection of horrible creatures we call the Trash Heroes. As always, our players are this wonderful group of talented internet cartoonists. As always, I encourage you highly to check out their links, which I'm going to point to by pointing the wrong direction for me. You should all see this up in the upper right, and you will notice that this week we have a special guest. So please check out the links to his work as well. We have the internet cartoonist David Malki, creator of Wondermark.
Hello.
And so
welcome to all of you to my stream.
Indeed.
Nice to have you all.
The stream has been usurped. But as always, I will introduce the characters. Absent this week is our keeper of the vermin and defender of the trash heap, Fetid Quaggle. But
chomp, chomp.
He will be back, no fear, next game. Next we have our larger-than-life pits fighting superstar, Ugna Sugar Tusks. And next up, our trickster cleric, rogue baker, and all-around party animal, Tromlin Darioles. Our all-natural Genasi swamp druid, Glorpa.
What plants this week? Hell, oh,
sad. Hold on.
Bad plant, happy plant. And last but not least, our sweet old grandpa, who's actually also an ancient warlock, Copernicus Sunshine. And I will reveal anon what our guest character is. So, as always, for those of you new to the stream, it's 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons with all the usual obnoxiously complicated house rules that you don't need to worry about. You will be able to follow along, no problem. And let me just bring everybody up to speed of where we left off. So when we last left our heroes, they had been separated from their responsible adult. Tromlin was had vanished into the mists and left the rest of you to get by, and you had made your way to the remote bandit camp of Shaelyn Tark and her Night Slayers, and in fact had hit upon a ludicrous plan to infiltrate the camp. And so, just to remind you, you actually spent a hero point,
right?
And that was the last thing that happened to get into the camp and sort of hand wave all the rolls. So we have invisibility has been cast upon. It's yourself and 2 others, right?
It's me and 1 other, but then Fetid fell asleep in the backpack.
Right.
So Fetid is asleep in Ugna's backpack, conveniently going to sleep through all of this.
I seem to remember saying last time it would be funny if like the reason that he is not conscious for this is like Ugna forgets he's there and just turns around too fast at one point.
Oh right, and whacks him.
Yeah, and he's just and then doesn't realize it. So every time we go to look at him, we're like, oh, he's still sleeping. I don't know.
So currently, Glorpa has taken the form of a raven and used a spell to have, or used a potion to have the apparent red eyes, and has flown in to replace the demonic familiar that, if you will recall, you have destroyed and captured the spirit of in a tiny soul cage. And Copernicus and Ugna are invisibly penetrating this encampment. And so this is the moment at which Tromlin reappears out of the mists up on the hillside, following a little will-o'-the-wisp that you have asked to lead you to your friends. And so And so, Randy, you find yourself in the hills overlooking this valley with this big camp with a wooden palisade around it, guards everywhere. And you are, you had discussed with the group that you guys were going to head here at some point. This is clearly the encampment of the Night Slayers where Shaelyn Tark can be found. But there is no sign of your friends. What do you want to do? You still have your little will-o-wisp friend. Oh, I think you've muted.
I think you're muted.
Somewhere.
Yeah. I also note that Randy has a black token that he didn't have last week.
Correct.
So something has happened.
You'll have to find out why. What the heck happened to your sound, Randy? You were fine up until now.
Nothing.
It's probably like there a physical button on your. Are you using your phone or your headset, or like
Headset.
an actual? Might have to. I might move on to somebody else for a bit while Randy is. Yeah, you're not muted on Discord. It's something to do with your headset itself or your input itself. We'll give Randy a minute here to figure out. Might have to change up
Or do a
the
restart
input
or something.
device. But in the meantime, this is a good point for me to start the poll. So we are going to start the game right off with a poll, audience. So I will ask the players to not look at the chat for the duration. And we will put up the poll now. And Alina, you might need to, I don't know if you need to put up an extra blank while Randy's rebooting. I don't know what that does to our cameras.
He'll be back soon enough, I think.
Yeah. I mean, he's the last one in the list, so it's probably, it just sets a couple of us off. Okay, the poll is now live. So audience, I will remind you all that you have about 10 minutes to vote in the poll. I think it's a 10-minute poll. Please vote and let us know which of these we are going to get some information about. And as always, you can vote extra times if you want to put some bits or anything into the vote. I will, for those of you who've been longtime viewers, we were trying to figure out, because Twitch tells us there's a way to give subscribers double vote, but we have not yet been able to figure out how to do that, and Twitch's
I sent them a
service.
support ticket, and they basically sent me back a thing just saying, here is how to create a poll. And I was like, that is not at all what I sent you. Thanks.
Yeah, I'm starting to suspect that it's an option that used to exist that doesn't anymore.
Maybe?
And Twitch has just not taken it off of their help page that explains how to do polls.
Yeah.
So we may not be able to do that.
I hear Randy say
Randy's got audio now.
Oh, and Uncle R has joined
There we
us
go.
Hey.
in the chat.
Oh, yay!
So keep those votes a coming.
Let's see if you
Okay.
can hear me now.
Yep. You're all good.
I'm sorry, you're going to go for children's cartoons and a child. It's just
It's quite all right.
happen.
Yep.
Sorry. Whose turn is it?
You were just I had just set you up where you're up on the hillside.
Yes, I remember that part.
You see the camp, your friends aren't around, and you're trying to figure out what the heck has happened to them.
Well, I'm guessing they're hiding. Because will-o'-the-wisps are pretty good at finding people. They're probably here somewhere. Which means...
The will-o'-the-wisp has you thinking that they are down in the camp somewhere.
I guess I will go investigate and try to find them.
I like to think this is actually the will-o'-the-wisp we're hearing.
Yes,
That's
that's
the child's voice.
That's excellent.
Will-o'-the-wisp this week, voiced by Velma. No.
Well
Can
done.
you say hi, Velma?
Let's make an IMDb page.
Hi, Daddy.
Hi.
A creepy will-o-the-wisp.
Excuse you?
Daddy.
That's my creepy will-o-wisp. I had to give her dice to calm her down.
Good.
That works with me too.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Works with cats,
I'll
too.
give you a let's get a perception roll, Randy. Then if you're gonna try and if you figure they're down there and you're trying to check it out and see what you can see.
Alright, I assume that's not one I have advantage on.
No, but you do have a decent roll. You got a +7.
Damn, okay, that's a 26.
Woohoo!
Nice.
Excellent.
Oh yeah, you guys missed my one actually well-placed roll 20. God damn.
There was a very, very useful natural 20 in Randy's little side scene. But you'll be explaining yourself, I'm guessing, to your friends when you find them again.
Yeah, it does say also incorporate that black token I have now.
Right.
So you notice.
Yes?
I just got a message. Hang on a second. I'm just messaging the just mentioning to the chat that we're nearing the halfway point in the poll. I will also mention that if we do end up with a tie at all, we'll have to do like a dice roll or a tie a tie break, just so that everybody knows. And yeah, the first thing you notice with that roll is the red-eyed raven. So you see a red-eyed raven perched on a sort of a kind of a tree, like a dead tree in the center of the camp.
Mm-hmm.
You also notice the will-o'-the-wisp, which is like buzzing around your head very, very insistently.
Excitedly.
Does the raven notice me?
I was wondering.
Actually, a good point. Do you want to try and do anything to attract its attention?
No! The fucking raven of the Raven Queen. Fuck that thing.
It's an evil
True.
raven.
Right. Do I
In which
see-
case, I'll have you roll a stealth.
$13.
Hey, Danielle, I'm going to get you to actually. This is probably more like a passive
Perception kind of thing.
perception, which is a passive perception of 15. So,
Randy, you might want to do like
Yeah.
a tap to talk situation.
oh yeah, you can switch yourself to push to talk, and you don't have to manually mute.
I don't know how to do that thing you're talking
Dude,
about.
like-
I'm old.
If you
mute in between talking.
if you go down
Getting
to
that louder than
the
everybody else is.
if you go down to the mute button at the bottom, and you right click on it, you can see you can switch yourself from voice activity to push to talk. And then you'll have the option to leave yourself unmuted. So we can't hear it now, so push your space bar.
And try talking.
No.
Yeah.
Huh.
Oh,
Yeah,
we,
yeah,
Oh, and now we
are we
can't
where
hear
we
you.
are again? Oh no.
Did we just ruin your
Uh-oh.
sound input?
yeah. Good job.
Good job,
guys.
Danielle. Good.
Switch
good.
it back. Switch it back to voice activity.
It's supposed to work.
Just switch it back to voice activity and then see if that works.
Yep,
Yeah,
got sound
now
back.
we can hear you again.
Cool.
I'm sorry, you'll just have to tolerate a child.
I mean,
Okay,
you
just
can
in between, you might want to mute
Yeah.
just because it was
No,
it's pretty loud on our
for
end.
you I will not.
All right, so just mentioning again, we're nearing the end of our poll. We're down to the last minute or so. And Danielle, when I left you, you were perched on this tree-like thing in the center of the camp, where the raven had been perched before. Just kind of like preening your butt and otherwise enjoying being a raven. Aw.
Look at her short
A new-
hair. It's so
a
cute.
new-
Very
A new
cute.
player. A new player arrives. And as you're sort of just like hanging out here and waiting because you don't know where your friends are right now because they turned invisible and they're supposed to catch up with you because you just flew to the center of the camp, right? They actually have to sneak their way through to you. So as you're sort of looking around and watching for them, you notice up on the hillside a rather poorly hidden in the shadow of the rocks Tromlin.
Oh.
Probably doesn't help his hiding that there is like a glowing will-o'-the-wisp kind of buzzing around his head.
Right. Probably also doesn't want to see me fly directly into his face. Do I consider that though, or do I just fly directly into his face?
Well, just
I
as
think
you're
that I
thinking about
probably-
this,
Just wink your
just as you're
cloaca
thinking
at
about
him.
this, you're going to hear a whispered voice from
glows.
below as Ugna and Perny have made their way to the tree at the center of the camp. So you guys are at the
Right
foot of
on.
the tree and you sort of like whisper up.
Hey, hey, we're here. Hello.
Caw? Yes. I mean, caw.
Good cover.
Thank you. I mean, oh. Just sticks her nose directly up her butt, just to show that it's still me, still that raven.
Good. Yep. Yep.
All right.
It's definitely
Pulls it
Glorpa.
out. Very good.
Nice. Subtle.
All right, I kind of just like towards where Tromlin is, so they can see where he is. Kind of
Can
do this
we
thing.
spot him?
Do we see him?
Yeah, if you're given, so you can make a perception roll. Well, actually, it depends. Do you want to? So you don't have the
Nope.
vantage point to see over the wall.
Yeah.
So
mean-
you would have
Oh,
to
he's over the
climb
wall
up the
still.
tree.
If I stood up, I'd probably be okay.
Yeah,
But I'm
you
like,
could like
I'm like
step
all
up on the
hunched
box.
down. Also,
How
I
big is this
rolled a
wall?
3, so I do not see a thing.
If someone tells Perny that Tromlin is there, he can write to Perny or to Tromlin silently. But someone just needs to tip Perny off, and I am.
You're there too. Like both of you were making your way to the center of the camp.
Yeah,
So
but I am
you,
low
you
to the
hear this
ground.
exchange.
Okay, but no one has said Tromlin yet. No one has said that word.
Yeah.
Oh, I missed it. What did you actually say to them?
Did I say anything?
Glorpa?
I said
I
caw.
think you're just.
Just
Yeah,
like
yeah.
caw.
And then
I
you
think
like
you're,
looked.
nudging.
You like
and
looked
no
over
one
at
else
it.
knows what you're
Yeah.
nudging at.
You're like, "Hey, over there."
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? I don't. Invisible Ugna like stands up, looks around, and like.
Raven Glorpa has a twitch. That doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
So, can I speak as a raven or?
Yeah, we established before that I'll let you speak in your animal form, so you can like
All right.
you can hiss at them under your breath or something.
Kind of just caw, and also Tromlin, caw. There.
I'm gonna write to
Kind of like a
Ugna.
budgie.
Ugna, can you pick me up? I need a boost.
I'll like invisibly grope around until I find
Yeah.
your head, and then like my hand like clutches over the top of your head a bit,
Yeah.
and then I'll
Perfect.
like lean down and like grab you by the
Don't
torso.
crush my bones.
You have this
Alright.
back and forth as you're furiously writing in your book without
Yeah.
being able to see it, so it comes through a little garbled because it's like, imagine if you're writing blind,
Yeah.
Yeah.
not all the letters are perfect, so it comes through in Perny's voice, but it comes through like a little bit, work me up, and you're like, and then it's like little like to the next to the tree by the small branch, as you try and guide Ugna, you can feel the arm brush past you, and you're like, no, left, other left.
I accidentally
Like-
pick you up upside down, but like
That's
it's
fine.
fine because you're still tall enough.
Yeah. I had an 18 for perception. Can I
You
see?
indeed see the will-o'-the-wisp up in the hill. But with that 18 perception, you are also going to notice that some of the guard Night Slayers at the gates have also noticed this will-o'-the-wisp up in the hill and are kind of starting to send a pair of scouts to investigate.
Okay, so I'm gonna write like get undercover now, to Tromlin, and I'm gonna say, we can see you, are hiding inside the camp. Glorpa is a raven. The Raven. We killed the Raven. Not
Glorpa's a
Hey.
raven. We killed the raven.
I'm going to attempt to hide then. Stealth?
Yep, you can make a new stealth roll.
See that, motherfucker?
Yeah!
Woo!
That
Wow.
wasted.
My
That
A
wasted.
natural 20 that actually matters.
Plus 20.
just 2 this week.
Nice.
Here,
My
baby, you can play
goodness.
with that if you want.
We had like what, 7 wasted one last time?
Yeah, my list is up. My list is at 8 so far.
Ooh.
Or,
For my-
sorry, 9. 9. We're at 9 natural 20s in the campaign that were completely superfluous and didn't matter.
As
my
I
upside
hide,
down-
I think. As I hide, I think whisper its help and say if it would like to leave, I understand.
From my upside down vantage point, can I see if the front gates have been left unguarded when the guards went out?
They have not.
Okay.
The you can see, but remember when you guys first grabbed the Raven, they sent out some search parties because there was noise. And since then, they have maintained a larger guard at the gate.
Mhm.
So there's probably about 6 guards hang out there, and 2 of them have gone up together to investigate. So there's still 4 guards at the gate.
Okay.
And Tromlin, you have quickly, you like clap your hands around the will-o'-the-wisp so it can't be seen and dive into some bushes and hide very, very effectively with your natural 20 roll. So now that the poll is completed, so you guys are safe to go back into the chat if you wish.
Cool.
This is so as Copernicus has like been writing back and forth here with Tromlin, and Tromlin disappears into the bushes again. Glorpa kind of settles down on the branch to like fluff out the feathers. It's very, very comfortable to be a bird. And in fact, you kind of doze off. And we can have the results of this poll immediately.
Oh, good.
Um,
God.
as Glorpa has a new vision.
Oh no.
Okay.
Oh. Okay.
That's never worrying.
So you settle down and close your little birdie eyes, and you start to have a little dream, as you often do. And your dream is like an action movie. So your dream starts off, and you see a crazy airship, like a cross between like a boat and a dirigible.
That last word you just used.
Like a blimp.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you.
And it is basically, it's like the opening sequence of like, I don't even know what movie, like Falcon the Winter Soldier, lots of movies, like an air fight, as some of the black raven spirits that you remember from before, the Vildarivin, as Copernicus told you they were called, are a pair of them are harassing this airship and forcing it to the ground as it fires various strange weapons back at these spirit creatures. And in your vision, you see the airship being forced down into the hills. You recognize the hills. It's these hills. It's the
Oh.
the hills of the icy wastes near Stormhill. And your vision kind of cuts ahead. It's not all real time, and you'll see the spirit things. One of them has been destroyed or taken out, and the other one is badly injured. But it manages to get past all of these weapons and sweep a figure off the deck of this ship and onto the ground below. And then you see members of this very tribe that you guys are in the camp of, the Night Slayers, on the ground with their weapons surrounding this figure. It's a very unusual figure. It looks like a turtle of some sort. You've seen a few turtles before, but this
my.
turtle has like what looks like a mechanical shell in the glimpse that you get before it gets completely piled on by these tribal warriors. And then your vision cuts again, and you see what it feels like a bunch of time has passed as members of this tribe are attempting to climb up the ropes and get onto the ship, and are variously being thwarted by crazy traps and mechanical things that pop up over the sides and like dump hot oil on them, or like suddenly cut a rope, or you know, some ballast like lands on someone's head, and just otherwise comically preventing them from getting on board the ship. And in the last part of your vision, you see like a prison. It's like a tent, but inside the tent is a prisoner, and it's this turtle wrapped in chains as a member of this tribe, a wicked-looking man with scarred face, holding a knife, testing it with his thumb, clearly intending to interrogate or otherwise get information out of this turtle. And you realize that this is happening now, not far from you, as you sort of start awake.
Well, that sucks. All right. Huh. Will I've ever seen that? Like, do I have any familiarity with that airship? Or who it
No,
would
I mean
belong to?
you've probably never seen anything like an airship. Like, you're still pretty newly out of the swamp, right? You're like,
Yeah, that was
wow,
weird shit.
wow, flying boats. You've
A
seen boats
fat
like on the
bird
river.
with no beak or face. Yeah, because it was floating, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I went the other direction, I guess. Fat bird. All right.
And as you
Well,
start awake, you look around, you see the tent in question is the
oh,
tent
okay, that's convenient.
basically right next to the tree where you're perched.
Oh shit. All right, I yell "Caw!" and just swoop down for a look-see. Is there like a window that I can see through if I swoop down past it?
Yeah, there's a flap that's kind of closed, but there's a couple of guards next to it, and it's just a flap of canvas. As you fly down towards it, the guards like both kind of like step back, like, ooh.
Ugh.
They are apparently familiar with this raven that you were
Okay.
impersonating.
They seem scared of me.
Yeah, they definitely seem to like not want to be too
Sweet.
close to you.
I like that. All right. Do I see anything when I swoop by?
You want to go
On
right
the
in
inside of
because
it?
you'll have to like push your way
Oh,
past this
sure.
flap. So Copernicus and Ugna, you can see this happening. You see Glorpa Raven squawks and flies down to the flap of this tent and pushes her way in. You see, also notice the guards kind of stepping back, like they're like, ugh, and not doing anything to interfere with the Raven. So yeah, you push your way past the flap. You're just kind of like clinging to the side of the canvas and like pushing your head around the flap. And you indeed see what you saw in your vision. There's this mechanical shell turtle man. And now I will switch over to our guest. So Dave, you were in the process of traveling in your ship over the icy wastes to the city of Ravenfall. You had some cargo that you were commissioned to take there. You just been very recently in the town of Stormhill, and a merchant Loxodon, who are the elephant people. This big bombastic merchant hired you to take his cargo because he said the roads weren't safe, and you said, well, the skies are fine. I can handle this and take the cargo. And as you were passing over the hills, these crazy fey things, these like shadow spirits, like big crosses between wolves and ravens that fly, came and attacked your ship and forced you to the ground, and you got attacked by these crazy hill people who have been demanding that you give them your ship and your cargo, which because they're bandits basically. They're saying, you know, we'll give you, we'll let you free, and you can have your life if you give us your goods. And so far, you've been not cool with this idea. Your ship is kind of, the cargo. Sure, you lose your commission or whatever, but like, not so cool about your ship.
The ship is still up there, right?
So your ship is
Or the
actually
ship is defending itself.
yeah. So you basically the last thing you were able to do is shout to your little robot companion, your homunculus creature, to man the defenses. And from what you gather from your interrogator, they are very frustrated because they have still not been able to get onto the ship. It's basically hovering
very
like a
good
few
defenses.
feet off the ground,
Yeah.
and they can't get in.
Those defenses are ironclad. Is my impression that they want just the ship, just and everything because they're have a piracy motive, or that they are after this cargo in particular?
They seem to be like, probably the ship is more valuable than the cargo to them. They seem to be just generally like, strip it for parts. Like they're very
Can't have that.
mercenary.
The parts are more valuable put together. This is the thing they don't realize. These metals are smelted in the far off forges of misty mountains and so on. And yes, you can melt them down to retrieve their base components. However, you will never understand their interlocking nature. Their interlocking nature is what makes them more than simple bare minerals. Their interlocking nature is what makes them something akin to, but separate from, magic itself.
They're very.
I understand their insistence. Believe me, I also like this ship. It is also a thing I want, which is why I have it, and you may not have it. However, here I am in this tent. This tent is surprisingly confining. I would think with my many skills that my confinement would be short-lived. But what is it about it that keeps me so bound?
Well, in actual fact, you if you want, like, so they've wrapped chains around you. Not realizing that with your armor, you can basically just completely free yourself at any moment.
Right. There are many things I can do.
The only thing that's keeping you here is these men with their pointy objects, and the general threat that they may put those pointy objects into your body.
This is a classic scheme. These are not the first beings to try and take over this cargo, and I have a very crafty plan. Shall I reveal it to anyone? Perhaps not yet. Because, yes, I could free myself, presumably with my many powers and skills. Yes, I could return to my ship awaiting me and sail some other direction. My mechanical companion, Blurney, its name, is ably manning the many defenses of the vehicle and will welcome me back with open mechanical talons. However, I am curious to know, is there something more devious afoot? Shall I go along with the ruse of my capture in order to learn, is there a greater threat I might yet eliminate?
Are you monologuing all of this out loud in front of them?
I hope so.
Absolutely.
I hope
Absolutely. I don't know. I assume they don't speak my language, but I may be unpleasantly surprised to realize that they are hearing my plan out loud.
I mean, are you you can choose. Are you monologuing in common?
Yes.
You also speak bestial and southern.
I secretly do want to be understood.
I'm not even going to make you roll any kind of perception. You notice, since you're facing the door, and the captor's back is to it, you notice a raven with red eyes has poked its head in through the tent flap and is watching this exchange.
This is
I
not the
will.
first time I have been perceived by a beast.
It's
I think
true.
nothing of it.
I will
Glorpa kinda-
add. Oh yeah, go ahead.
Do birds have tongues?
Yep.
Okay. Glorpa does the closest thing she can to very slowly licking her lips, just to be creepy, just to identify herself as
That bird's gonna
maybe
eat
something
ya.
other than a raven.
This raven with glowing red eyes is licking its beak at you.
She's not considering what it might sound like or
It-
look like.
It
Just
makes me wonder if this bird wishes to eat me. We'll have a hard time of it. I will say that.
small beak.
It's very small beak. I am quite large and gamey, you will find. Should you make the attempt, you will not find it a simple matter.
I will actually, in response to your monologuing, it occurs to you that if these were simple bandits that brought you down, that's one thing. But the magic that they used, whatever these crazy, like terrifying shadow spirits that they summoned to do the job, it seems very not in keeping with we're a bunch of barbarians with swords in the hills.
I would agree.
So there's definitely something more
A more
sinister.
powerful force at work, indeed. And should this be a growing threat, it perhaps is to my advantage to nip it in the bud. It's a saying from my language that translates into common as "eat it in the ass."
Good.
I'm
I'm
going to
here
assume
to eat you in
anything.
the ass is what I say very loudly.
I'm going to assume that you don't have none of this is ever going to be Dave Malki speaking as Dave Malki about his character. I'm assuming everything you say
Yes.
for the rest of the session is all said aloud by your character.
Correct.
This person has no inner monologue, only the exterior,
Uh,
only the
Only the
outer.
outer
Lane,
monologue.
can we hear this, or is this it's sort of muffled
Yeah.
because it's in the tent?
If you saw Glorpa, you were watching Glorpa and watched her fly down
Peek
and like
into the
stick her
tent.
face through the tent.
Yeah.
And the guards have kind of taken a big step away in either direction. The guards on either side of the tent flap.
Cool.
So you can you can get right up there and listen if you want to.
I'm gonna creep up, but also
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep an eye out for these two guards here. Are here on this tent. Are there other people around that could see us if we bash these two guards on the head? Say, theoretically.
There's other people around. Mostly the other people who are around are kind of steering clear of this tent. The one person was around like very recently here was Shaelyn Tark herself. Remember, you saw
Right.
her near this tent. For all you know, she's inside right now.
Right. I mean, I
unless you get a look.
assume that Ugna would think that's who's inside the tent until she gets close enough to hear this turtle.
You definitely, the turtle is not quiet. So
No.
when you get to
Not
the,
at all.
No. Ah,
so you, and it's just a tent flap. It's not like
Yeah.
particularly soundproofed. So I'm just going to quickly jump back over to Randy. So Randy, you had received this message in your head, as usual, to get to cover immediately, and that you were also informed that Glorpa is the Raven, which doesn't you're like, what do you mean that we've seen this Raven before? But of course Glorpa can turn into animals, and you're like, sneaky. And you also, I believe the other part of the message was that that the others were in the camp, were in hiding within the camp. So what do you want to do to try and get yourself back in with your buddies?
Could I Misty Step my way in?
You could, but the range on Misty Step is not great. You'd want to sneak near the edges of the camp, and then Misty Step your way in.
Ooh.
With that natural 20 on stealth, I am 100% willing to say that you can slip past the guards that came out to search, and get close enough to do that. But then once you appear, you'll just be in the camp.
That's a problem.
I am also
Uh,
remembering a
Stealth is a
plan that we
bandit.
had. Ugna was because I lifted you up so you could look at Tromlin, right?
Yeah.
I would be like, did you see him?
Oh, I'm gonna write down yes.
You hear his voice in your head saying,
Okay.
yes.
I think really hard in my head. Be like, weren't we gonna get the girlfriend? Tromlin was gonna dress up like a girl.
Yes.
Trauma blinks. I what?
Like, maybe
do we
tell
have Perny
him the
Net up
plan.
right now?
Tell him the plan.
Yeah, if you want, you can just relay this to Tromlin.
Hi, Tromlin.
For Dave's purposes, so that you know what's going on, the Copernicus, the Warlock, has a weighty tome of magic, and anyone who has signed the book, Perny can write in the book and have those words appear in their mind, and then have
It's
them
not
respond.
creepy at all.
And so all of these words that come from Copernicus are transmitted through the book, and it's like this horrifying, disembodied evil voice in their heads, which they apparently are all just used to now.
It's fine.
Yes.
So yeah, we can just say you can just transfer those words onto Tromlin so that Tromlin hears what's going on.
Fill him in on the
So-
plan of like, so.
So, my dearest Grand Neptune, we require your aid in pretending to be a barmaid we've never met to seduce Shaelyn Tark, who we've never met, so that we can get close enough to see if she can be persuaded from her current course of action. With love, Grand Funkle Perny. Yes.
Granddad.
Perhaps first, you should disguise yourself as a bandit. We will be waiting near the tent, near the tree in the middle of camp.
Didn't we have a drawing of what
Granddad.
this barmaid
Yes.
looked like?
Hope that you are well.
Granddad, how can I disguise myself as a specific person I have never met?
I have done an artist's impression of, based on descriptions from people who have not seen her in 10 years. This plan is flawless.
It's 5 years. It was 5 years.
5 years. But it was also a very good drawing,
Mhm.
we think. You said that you like
I-
fax it into his
I
brain,
don't
right?
trust this group for goddamn anything. I just don't.
However-
trust it.
We are lurking outside a tent, and we may have discovered a side quest. All caps.
Alright, so apparently I need to disguise myself as one of the bandits somehow.
This is a pretty decent plan if you want to Misty Step into the camp, but use your disguise tattoo to take the shape. Remember, these Night Slayers are practically uniform, right? They all have the tattoo. They all have a very specific look, and you've seen quite a few of them up close. So if
Do I
you
know
want
what
to
this woman
become-
looks like?
You don't know what this woman looks like, but you could definitely take the form of just one of the bandits.
Alright, I'll do that then. I'll Misty Step in and take on a bandit form.
So with that natural 20 stealth roll, you manage to slip past the guards down to like the side of the encampment, away from the gate, knowing that with Misty Step you can just pass that fence without any difficulties. So you do so, and once again you invoke your magical tattoo, which spreads over your body and takes the form of a Night Slayer. You've actually done this before. You took on the form of that one Night Slayer when you were interrogating them.
I would prefer not to look like him specifically
No,
again.
he was like a leader of some sort, but you find it pretty easy
No.
to put together a quick disguise. I'm going to get you to make a roll for me. Oops, that's Copernicus. He has very different stats. I'm going to get you to roll me a deception or a performance.
See which is better. Ooh,
Your
plus
deception is
10%.
better.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to deceive. $25.
Oh, excellent. So that the plus 10 helps goes a long way.
Yes, the plus 10 is a nice little thing.
Okay, so you misty step from your spot outside the gate. You kind of peek in one of the little gaps between the logs and poof yourself to the inside of the camp and take this disguise. And then you go to great lengths to not run into too many other people as you kind of like you put on an air that you are going somewhere, that you've been ordered to go to. Like I have business and I'm going over here and there's nothing remotely suspicious about this. And you make your way towards the tent at the center of the camp. Okay, so meanwhile, while that's happening, Ugna and Copernicus, you're outside the tent listening to this turtle man ranting, and Glorpa, you are still, butt sticking out, but your head inside the tent flap, and the interrogator, losing some patience, goes, "Listen, merchant, you will give up to us the means, the secrets of getting into this ship. If you do not, you will be killed and we will figure it out anyway." Are you laughing?
Not the first to say some such thing to me. You presumably will be the last if my life improves from this point, as I hope it will, because this is tiresome. So, I shall give you a counter offer, as I am a man of fair play and trade. And a normal man I am, as you can see. Just normal human man. Human man that is a normal man. So, if you tell me what the devil is going on here, why you want... surely, an intelligent being such as you cannot want a marvel such as my airship, strictly for... You would turn it in a big circle and then drill it into the ground before you ever manage to get one stick of merchandise off of it. And I'll tell you why. It's very difficult to fly. Very difficult. Requires incredible training and skill. It's worthless to you if you kill me. But you are worthless to me now. So, what do you have to offer me to prevent me from bursting these chains, leveling this place, and returning to my merry way?
So Perny's gonna start writing. I like the turtle. Can we spring him? I like him a lot.
We keep him.
Can we keep him?
I'm thinking really hard at you, being like, I could take the one on the left if you take the one on the right.
Yeah, this is a great plan, and I'm writing to everybody. This is Perny is a classic grandpa replying all, yeah. I could do the one on the right. This is great. He's a snapping turtle.
So while this exchange is happening, the interrogator says, "You are in no position to bargain, old man thing."
I'm not old. I'm not that old. I'm at 825. It's not that old.
Perny might actually like. Oh no, he's not visible, so never mind. But he's paying very much attention.
Human men can be like 800. It's fine.
Please, I interrupted you. Please go on with your threat.
Love him.
He's going to attempt to take a hold of one shoulder / arm, and like bring his knife to like to like your face, like basically to your head area. You have the option as a turtle of basically retreating into your shell.
I've got no interest in retreating. This person does not scare me. Let me be clear. I'm saying this aloud. This person does not scare me. I've got, and I'm like thinking out loud. I'm like rolling through my inventory. I've got all these spells I can do. I can do grease. I've got that in my. What should I fling you about? Should I start to fly? Did you know I can fly? I've got magic coming out my shell.
You're in no position to threaten me.
How far is this tent from the outside of camp? Like from the closest wall?
This is near the dead center.
Right.
But how many feet? How many feet exactly?
I'm trying to remember if I gave you guys a size of the camp. I don't think I did, so I'm just going to say it's probably about probably 50 yards, maybe, or this whole camp might be 100 yards across.
Okay.
When the
Okay.
warlock asks how many feet exactly.
So
You know,
so
actually, that's a little big. This was a sizable camp, but that would make it the size of a whole football field. Actually, no, that's about right. Yeah, I'm going to do
Okay.
that.
Yeah.
100
So-
yards across. So
okay.
you're 50 yards from the fences
all right,
or
50 yards
the
and
palisade.
feet. How many is that? 90.
Three
Perfect.
times.
Yes, that is
No,
exactly one
50
thunder
yards
step.
is 50 yards is 150 feet. I'm afraid.
Okay, so Perny's gonna say, I think I can grab him and do a prank to get out of the camp. But maybe you want to get out now, so that because when I do this prank, I will become visible, and so will Ugna. So
I mean, I
if you
was
can
just
all-
gonna grab the bad guys and smash their heads together, and then we could sneak into the tent.
because I think I can sneak in and just carry him straight out to the outer wall.
That
Just like that.
you wouldn't have the range to get out of the camp completely.
I would with my ring of sorcery.
Oh,
Ooh.
right, because you can extend the range.
Yeah, so I can go
Excellent.
180 feet, and it's almost exact. So the range is 90 feet. I can double it to 180, and if the camp is almost exactly 90, which is 50 yards, I think I can teleport us up a hill, basically.
What about finding
Fi-
Shaelyn?
No, but 50 yards is 150 feet.
I have.
But still, you got 180. You're still good.
Okay. Oh yeah, I put in 30, not 50. Oops. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. 150. Yeah. Okay. So I think I can. I think I can just get us to the far edge of camp, and then we can scurry into the hills for a bit. If we get Turtle Man and his magical contraption ship, surely we can use this to get Shaelyn. I think it is both a moral and strategic imperative that we rescue the Turtle Man. Sincerely, Perny.
So you've shared this information through your book. Several things are going to occur. First of all, the interrogator, who is getting very frustrated with his attempts to interrogate this insane turtle man, is going to shout for the guards, who both very reluctantly look at the raven in their way, and then like kind of try to duck so that they can go through the lower part of the flap underneath the raven without disturbing it.
Can I sneak in with them while they're coming in and making noise?
You can attempt to, but the other things that occur is that another Night Slayer guard appears around the corner of the tent, walking your way, which only one person realizes, and that's you, Randy, is actually Tromlin, because the others haven't seen your disguise yet. And from the other direction, Shaelyn Tark appears.
Oh no.
Oh, good.
So all
Oh,
of this
good.
happens at once.
Oh.
None of you could see this, but Ugna was going like to grab the two guards that went away, and now like looks over, sees another guard, and is like ready to punch. But then also Shaelyn is there, and so her fists just get stuck. Like she's just like too many. I can't punch all of them.
Now, did you want to try and slip in after the guards?
Yeah, I think I do. Yeah.
I will allow that if you will just roll me. What is an appropriate roll here? I think this is going to be an acrobatics.
Perfect. We're no bonus. We're raw dogging it.
And then I'll also need a stealth from you, but that will be a much easier roll.
Yeah. All right. Acrobatics. Just checking before I roll if I have any inspiration.
I am
No,
pretty
don't.
sure
We
that
got
old
nothing.
humans are very good at acrobatics.
Yes. Notoriously so. There we go. No safety nets whatsoever. 12.
Well, I am going to roll a chance to. Okay, so you have rolled sufficiently to follow on their heels. And now I'll get you to roll a stealth. And this is just straight up with your stealth bonus, not your shadows, because this is just about making noise. You're invisible, right? You're not being seen. It's just a question of whether you are heard.
I don't know if it's visible. No, it's not.
That's a
That's
one.
a nat one.
That's a
That's
one.
a nat one.
Oh, geez.
And we got no inspiration. We got nothing. I'm not gonna black token it because this is basically the detonation of a black token.
Yep.
Can I give an inspiration?
You can. We established last time that you
Oh.
can spend 2 inspirations to give one of your companions a roll, and Tromlin has 2 inspirations.
I really just want this to not be a complete utter clusterfuck.
I don't see any way this plays out that's not that, personally.
I mean,
Do you guys think I should? I mean, I might need this later. Like,
I think
yeah, it's
I was
true.
gonna say you might want to hold off.
Yeah, my plan is
think
now
you'll have
like
plenty of fuck ups.
grab Shaelyn and run. I don't know.
okay, never mind. I'm gonna do it.
Funny.
So, so Copernicus kind of tries to like slip in behind the legs of the these 2 crouching guards, and in doing so, you manage to make it through without like tripping or bashing into anybody, but you don't do it quietly. You crunch through the gravel and kind of like flop to the side and make like an old man grunt as you fall over. It's sort of like and it escapes you whether you like it or not. I'm gonna roll. No, that's actually so. No, everybody definitely hears that and is like, "What the heck was that?"
What was that?
So David, you like these 2 guards come through the flap, ducking to get under the Raven for some reason. You don't know if like the Raven is important somehow.
Too hot. Intimidating.
And the but as they do so, you hear like this thump and grunt in the dirt of the floor behind them, and they both kind of
Recognize that
turn
sound.
and
That's
look.
That's an old person. I know that sound
Hey.
anywhere. Wait a minute. There's all these strange creatures that have captured me, but also old people. Something is afoot in this camp. These things are not what they seem. I'm saying this aloud.
So Ugna and oh, awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw that one, but
Very nice.
What is it?
excellent. Just a
I drew
drawing.
Malki's
Oh,
character.
hell yeah. I gotta
I put
see
it in
this.
our chat.
Very nice.
Oh, speaking of which, Alina, you didn't update the overlay now that we have
Oh, right. Right.
have discovered.
We'll get the new one up here.
While we're in meta, I have one comment, which is that I can't see or hear Randy. I assume you all can.
Oh,
I'm not sure why. Like,
Oh.
What?
he's in like I have like a loading animation on his square.
Oh,
I have
weird.
for like the whole time.
Yeah, that might be a connection thing on your end because Randy did leave and come back.
Let me hop out and hop right back in then.
Sure.
Yeah, there's Randy. Okay. He's
He's
on.
turning your camera back on.
This is a good time for me to remind the stream audience that as our players run out of inspirations, that it is always in your power to cheer using bits and such for our players. And I think right now we're at about 2/3 of the way to everybody getting another inspiration.
I have another meta question, if that's all right, Lane.
Yep.
And that is, so I got this whole character sheet with all kinds of great things I can do, but I'm also not the protagonist of this story. So Should I be like taking actions to like
You-
move
you
things
are-
along here? Or
you are-
am I?
You are
am
one
I
of the
waiting?
protagonists
For tonight, yeah.
as far as this goes. Tonight you join the protagonists.
All right, good to know.
Frankly, you're the guest, so it's exciting to let you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
this is your one
I mean,
chance.
This is your
to
one and only
shine,
chance to
so-
shine.
this
so
is
go hard.
because I know what I want to do, but you tell me when it's my turn to decide what to do here.
It sounds like we're very soon going to get to a
I'm just gonna, I'm just
combat
gonna quickly
situation.
sort of establish what's going on outside the tent here, and then come back in, and then you can let me know what you want to do. So outside the tent, Ugna, you're still standing invisibly in indecision, as Tromlin, as a guard walks directly towards you, and the opening of the tent, and Shaelyn Tark strolls over to the tree, like she's looking for something.
Right. So I have 2 targets within reach.
Yeah. And Randy, you don't see Ugna, but this is the place you were told. You see Shaelyn, and this is the place that you were told to come by Copernicus. And I'll remind you, since he has recently communicated with you, you can respond to him in your thoughts if you want to contact him back.
I contact him. I am disguised as a guard. I see Shaelyn. Where the hell is everyone else?
I don't know because they're invisible. I am in the tent. I think that I am going to save the turtle man. People are looking at me.
Can I roll some kind
Peter?
of luck roll?
Well, actually, in fact, Peter, so when you fell on the ground, you are basically in the tent flap door area, the threshold. So you can actually easily peek out and see Tromlin.
Oh, okay.
Without, like, you're basically in the tent, but you can still see back out where you just came from. Since Tromlin has just identified himself to you, you do see him. You see the guard that is him. If you want to, I know you originally had this plan where you had shared, or so you had detected thoughts on the people who knew Rosie. That was the name, right? Was
Rosie,
Rosie?
yeah.
I think I've drawn. I think I have a drawing of her on me that I did based on the thoughts and impressions or whatever. And it's pretty good. We all agreed.
I would
Tattooed on you, yeah.
allow you. So you just and Alina, you'll need to update this. Everybody just got another inspiration.
Yay! Thank you, chat. We really need it.
Thank you.
Ah,
A hype train started.
Hype train.
And the bits just came flying. So I'm not sure how we reset that thing.
I can
it's actually at 136%.
do it on my end. Oh wow.
But in the meantime, you can give everyone an inspiration.
Hell
And
yeah.
I will say right now,
Let it
for Peter's
rain.
sake, if some inspirations get spent here, I would allow you to communicate your drawing, your images of Rosie to Tromlin.
does it come in like an ASCII drawing?
Yeah.
Does he just see it, or is it?
I'm thinking
Low
more along the
pixels?
lines of a cast of detect thoughts and just basically project the thought. You can see Tromlin.
Yeah. Now, I think that would reveal my invisibility if I cast anything.
No, I don't think so. I think you can cast
Well, look at
spells
this.
while invisible.
Oh, as long as,
double
as long
check.
as I'm not attacking. I think as long as I'm not attacking, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you damage somebody with a spell, you would lose your invisibility. I'm just going to double check that I've got that right.
So if I give up the inspiration and
no.
my ability to thunder step out of here with my turtle friend, which
Oh, right, because it'd be a spell.
Right.
yeah, I might instead try and slip him the paper. Now that I've drawn attention to myself sneaking in, maybe I'll sneak back out and just try and hand him the paper and like scribble on it like, you are Rosie, you are Shaelyn Tark's ex-lover, barmaid. You left to go take care of your mom in the south. and scene.
I think I'm gonna make a counter offer because the thing is, disguising himself convincingly as a person from a drawing is not gonna be very easy. But I think if you are
I
willing
am
to
not
take a
taking
black
a
token,
third. No, I'm not,
not you,
taking a
not
third.
you.
Oh,
Peter, I will let you cast that spell without using your regular slot.
Ooh.
Okay, for a black token and an inspiration.
Yeah. And
Okay.
you'll be able to cast a spell, not break your invisibility, and give the image to Tromlin that you had taken from the mind of that other person.
Oh.
Okay, I will take that deal.
Black token.
All right.
And I'm going to
Enabled.
quickly write what I had said I would write on the paper. Instead, I'll send that as message as set up for Tromlin.
Directly to his brain.
Yeah.
So
can
Tromlin,
you repeat it since I had a child in my ear when you said it
Yep.
initially?
so Tromlin, and that's just for the black token, by the way, Peter. You don't have to spend the inspiration you just got as well.
Oh yay! I get to keep my tiny little protection against the horrible thing that's coming for me. Perfect.
So Randy, two things happen. One, you hear the voice in your head from Copernicus writing again, and I believe what you said was that the gist is this person, and you have an image in your mind of a person, and it's a barmaid from the tavern in Stormhill. And Pernie's voice says, "This person is Rosie. She was Shaelyn Tark's girlfriend. You can distract or whatever Shaelyn Tark by disguising yourself."
And yeah, you went south to take care of your mom 5 years ago. I'm gonna Cyrano de Bergerac this with demon voices in your brain as you try to. This is gonna be great. This can't go poorly at all.
So should I do a disguise check?
Absolutely.
Would that
So
be
you
deception?
duck below a crate or something, or duck behind the edge of the tent, and you can change yourself
Okay.
into this person.
Deception?
Cinematically, he ducks just as Ugna's hand comes to like grab him by the collar, and another fist comes in, and I miss completely. You never knew how close you came.
What role am I doing?
This is make a performance check, please.
It could be deception. 17. But I want to make one alteration since I don't know what Rosie's voice sounds like.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
I did. And since she hasn't seen her in 5 years,
Have a cold or something.
no. I'm going to have a fresh scar across the throat. So I've survived attack trying to find her.
Now you can sound like whatever.
Speak with your body.
Excellent.
Shake.
I am not seducing her because that is rape by proxy, and I'm not bringing that into our game.
That'll work.
I was under the impression from the discussion last game that seduce was being used much more generally.
Yeah, it was
not
distract
specifically
and
referring to-
gain her
Physical.
attention.
Yeah.
I think
It'll be
the
a
intent was
physical-
flirt, not.
Yeah. Be a distraction, not actually do anything with her.
Gotcha.
Yep.
But yes, like obviously having suffered a recent wound which has affected my vocal cords. Yes.
Beautiful. Beautiful. What did you roll on the performance?
I got a 17. I kind of want to spend an inspiration to see if we can do better.
Yeah, go for it.
All right.
You've got a big enough
pretty
bonus
typical.
that it's.
Oh god, that is so much worth it. That'd be a 25.
Ooh.
Beautiful.
What I need?
Excellent. Okay. So while this is going on, so I'm just sort of like we're moving towards a possible need for combat time, but not yet. So while this is going on, Ugna was like sneaking up on that guard to grab it. The guard ducks around the corner as you lunge, and you see, as you have lunged sort of into sight around the corner, you see the guard transform magically into this little barmaid. And that's new.
Yep.
You've
Am
seen
I
Tromlin
smart
pull that trick.
enough to think that that's Tromlin?
My
I mean,
Or-
we're
immediate
in on
answer
the
is definitely no.
conversation.
Yes, correct.
You have seen
But
a
I'm-
drawing of Rosie, so you might just think it's Rosie.
I'm like, Matt, Rosie's a shapeshifter.
Yeah, Rosie was disguised as a guard and
Yeah.
just dropped the disguise.
Yeah. Oh, Rosie's magic. Gotcha.
That seems to make good sense to me.
It's funny
That
that we were
can't be
just
Tromblin.
talking
She's
about
walking
Rosie.
like she's been laid recently.
Oh,
Aha.
And so I
So-
invisibly put up my hands. I'm like, whoop, sorry, and then I'll back off back to the tent.
Actually say, oops, sorry.
You know what? Yes. Just quietly. Oops,
Do I
sorry.
hear that? Do I hear that? Yes?
Yeah.
I look in the direction of the voice and say as quietly as I can, Ugna, it's me, Tromblin.
And I stop, going off and go, oh, I thought you were Rosie and magic.
Confusing for Ugna.
So,
So while this was happening, Glorpa and Alina, did you update the overlay?
Yepers.
We can reveal the character name. So Mantanaraksti are both, while that's going on, because that takes some time. So Copernicus, while lying face down in the dirt, peering through the crack at the bottom of the tent, has done this exchange, casting a spell at Tromlin and also writing furiously in his book at the same time. While the guards who heard this thump kind of look around in confusion, Danielle, you also noticed the thump and the grunt that happened just directly underneath you. And of course you heard Araxtes, or would you go by Tan?
Yeah, man is just a description of me. I'm a man.
Yeah.
I'm a normal man. And then Tan is, it's short for my real name, my full name. I'm saying all this aloud. And so, my friends call me Tan. Everyone's my friend because I'm genial. Guard just looking at me like he's holding that knife up, and I'm just saying, yeah, I feel like we're bonding a little bit ourselves. We're sharing, shared experience is really the glue of friendship. I think we'll look back on this moment and laugh.
This is effectively distracting him from the noise, but the other two guards are now kind of groping around for what was that? But you can see them doing so, Danielle. Does Glorpa want to do anything about this?
Oh, man, I guess they fear me, so I don't have to be too afraid of them. Yes, I just jump onto one of the guards' heads and just start kind of picking at his ear, inside of his ear, to see if there's anything in there to eat.
Go for the
Uh,
brain. That's where the good stuff is.
Gotta go
He's
deep. All right.
he goes
Softer in there.
holds perfectly still, and
Oh,
he
for
looks
me.
like he
Demon
was gonna
Raven.
reach or swat you
Demon
away,
Raven.
but now he's like, Ugh.
Hmm.
Yeah,
All right.
it's
I
pretty
kind
clear
of
to you
nibble on
that
his
these
ear
guys
a little
know
bit.
that it's a demonic raven.
Yeah, that's great. I love this. All right, I nibble on his ear and then I fly over to the other one and kind of rub up against his neck a little bit. Lorpa definitely thinks she's being sexy on all of these guys. And she might be. I don't know what these guys are into.
Yeah, you've heard there's this fear thing. There's kind of maybe they're just subbing.
I love a little
Just-
service. All right, cool.
subs get double bits.
Excellent.
Have they stopped searching? I don't know if that's helped at all.
Oh, yeah, no, they're like holding stock still as you jump from one to the other
Yeah,
because
very
they're like,
good.
the demon wants to jump around on us. I'm not
Thank
gonna
you,
say
Barbara.
no.
Thank
Excellent.
you.
Um, I just want to suggest to David, if at any point you choose that you want to like gesture more fully or whatever, despite these obnoxious chains, because you have your armor of tools, you can basically like just drop them at any point. It's entirely your choice.
This is what I want to do. I mean, you tell me if this works. So this guard is still there with this knife, right? He's being very threatening toward me. So what I want to do, I want to do two things, and I want to use guidance, and I want to cast it on him to like say, hey, listen, if you want to get better at negotiation, I'll give you +4. And that way we can have a civil conversation instead of this threatening nonsense. And then while he's thinking about that, I'm gonna use my magical tinkering to make his knife smelly. Because I can use this magical tinkering to make the object continuously emit an odor or a non-verbal sound of my choice, can be perceived up to 10 feet away. So I'm gonna make
Barbara smells that.
yeah. So I'm gonna make his knife smell like farts.
She's loving it.
And I'm just
Okay,
gonna say,
So,
and now here
what,
we are. This has changed the situation. How are you gonna react? Think
so what
fast.
this looks like? So this guy is somewhat distracted. He's grabbed you by like the edge of your shell,
Mhm.
like the
My
collar,
plastron,
effectively,
please, my
and he's
plastron.
he's grabbed you by the plastron, and he's holding a knife to your face. But he's also distracted by like what this crazy crap that's going on behind him, this thump, and then the guards are looking around, and then the ravens jumping around on the guards, and so his attention is divided. And while his attention is divided, little like mechanical arms and stuff come out of various parts of your shell to do and like come up and go like ting, 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 on the knife, and also like a little mechanical hand touches his chest and casts guidance on him. And you
one
want
of
to
the
give him
mechanical hands does like a wee, just like a gesture.
um and he uh the smell comes off the knife in his face, and he immediately like lets you go and leaps back a step, like just shocked at what just happened.
Yes, and I at that point I use Mage Hand, and can I use that to manipulate him at all, or can I just no? Can I pluck that knife out of his hand? Does that count as an attack?
Yep.
Okay, I could.
For sure, I would say so. With Mage Hand, it's very limited in like the weight or like what it could do like an attack, but it can do like sleight of hand stuff. So you can do like
I want
he's
to take the knife out of his hand and now have the knife.
for sure.
Can I do that?
Yep.
Okay.
You
So
can
now I've
make
got.
me a sleight of hand roll.
Okay.
So roll me a d20, a 20-sided dice.
Yeah, I got one. All right.
Yep.
I like that mage hand fart knife. Sounds like exactly what you'd end up with out of refrigerator poetry.
Yes.
With the magnets.
Yep.
Like it
I
just
got
sounds
19.
100%.
Also, I love that like the mage hand is usually like a spectral, ghostly hand, but I'm just imagining yours is like go-go gadget arms.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly how I'm picturing
Yeah.
it. With
Good.
the white gloves and everything.
Yep. Good.
Is it a
It's
Did
a
you roll a
19.
19 on the
I
die?
just did. Yeah.
Okay, so you have a +6, so that's a 25.
Yeah, that's very good.
So I'm gonna roll his resistance to that, and it is not anywhere near as good. So while he's distracted, like he's not holding it tightly because he was basically like, "What the heck is with this crazy smell coming off my knife?" Suddenly, this extended like spring or like Inspector Gadget, the I don't know what they call that stuff, the scissoring um, uh, mechanic device that
Yeah,
reaches
yeah,
a hand out. Yeah,
Yeah, like a pantograph.
yeah, and like just comes out and snatches the knife out of his hand. So now you're holding it like on this like springy thing that's extending out of a panel on your armor.
I think this
Yeah,
might be Perny's biggest friend crush that he's had in probably 2 or 3 decades.
So I've now got this smelly knife. I still got the chains around me.
Yep.
And I figure this is my there's nothing more I'm going to gain from this interaction with this guy. Like this, I've made my move now, so it's time to quit messing around. I've got many different ways. I think that I could probably just disassemble these chains with like my magical or with my little
Yeah.
tinkering arms, right?
Yeah, I'm going to just call that, like, you can have sort of prepped for that at any point, so I'm just going to call that, like, let's call that an action that you do as you're in surprise here, and then let's
Okay.
roll initiative. I think this is time now for everyone to get into initiative time. So everybody roll a d20 for your initiative.
I wasted a nat 20.
Me too.
Hooray! 2 more
So,
wasted 20s
22.
going on my list.
Oh yeah, I meant to say. So along with the Dirty 20 as a cocktail name, I think Wasted 20s are also. A really
Oh
good
yeah.
Cocktail name.
Oh, that's one's got like a lot of
Nice.
shots in it.
That's
A
great.
wasted
Yeah.
20.
Yeah.
Did you end up deciding that a dirty 20 had pickle juice in it or something like that?
Yeah, because it's what makes a dirty martini dirty.
Oh, of course.
Is the olive
Yeah.
juice? I
Yeah.
think?
Yeah,
So
it's the
Yeah.
olive brine.
yeah. So adding some kind of brine, I feel like is essential for making that. My suggestion was going to be that you just add up aged scotches until the number is 20, and that's obviously sacrilegious, but also I think mathematically consistent. And what do we want from our cocktails if not mathematical consistency?
Basically, blend two
Really it.
10-year aged whiskeys and then
Yeah.
throw in a shot or a splash of pickle brine.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Okay, so what do we got for initiative rolls?
7.
Nat 20
Looks
from
like I'm
Ugna.
23.
22 for
So
me.
23 from Glorpa.
Mm.
22 from Ugna. What was that from Perny?
7.
7 total. How about Tromlin?
12.
12 for Tromlin. And what did you roll, Dave?
I rolled 7.
And then you have a +3, so you're at a 10. So 12 for Tromlin, 10 for Tan, and a 7 for Perny. The only one who rolled lower than the other team. Okay. So inside the tent, we have this situation where suddenly a bunch of little mechanical arms come out of this shell, and they simultaneously, or near enough to simultaneously, push the guy on the chest. It looks like a magic effect has pushed him back, but in actual fact, it gave him a bonus to negotiation. Tinkering little hands have touched the knife so that he jumped back from it, and then another hand has grabbed it, and then other little hands have like disconnected the chains, and they just fall in a heap on the ground, so that the mechanical turtle man is no longer constrained. So all of this has happened. The interrogator has got to step back and is like looking shocked, of course, and disgusted from the smell. Smells like home, Glorpa.
Oh, I know.
And you, of course, are standing on one of the 2 terrified guards, who's standing stock still now that there's a demonic bird on him. And Perny is invisibly lying in the dirt underneath these 2 guards. And then in the same time, outside the tent, Tromlin is now disguised as Rosie, and is just around the side of the tent from Shaelyn Tark. And also Ugna is there invisibly.
Is Shaelyn in the tent with us, or is she right
No.
outside?
No, she's over by the tree. She was looking for her demon familiar. So first things first, Glorpa, you get to do something
Oh,
if you
right.
choose.
I mean, I don't know that I would do anything different. Been
You can
seducing
wait.
some guards.
Do you want?
Yeah, just hold your action.
Yeah, you know what? I'd like to. I'm just gonna hold off and get intoxicated by the smell of fart knife.
Fart knife. I spent a night in Fart Knife. Anyway,
It's a town in Saskatchewan, right?
Yep.
Yeah. It does sound like.
good old Fart Knife, Saskatchewan does sound like a real place.
Yeah.
All right, so next up is Ugna.
I am also holding my action. I'm just like
Okay.
taking
Wait
Tromlin's
for
lead
Tromlin.
like normal.
Well, Tromlin is next.
My turn?
Yep.
I will hoarsely call to Shaelyn.
So like come around visible to Shaelyn
Yeah.
and call her. So yeah, you step around the edge of the tent and say, Shaelyn. And she turns and stands in shock. Just like,
Apparently I did a good job. I'm basically trying to distract her from going into this fight.
yeah. There haven't been any
Yeah.
loud noises from the tent yet. There was the thump of Perny falling on the ground wasn't particularly like
Right.
something that would be, what the hell was that outside the tent?
Yeah,
Um,
yet, but there will be. It's a fight
Yeah.
going on.
Can
Yeah,
I
it's
use my
likely.
action? I'll use my movement to like sneak around behind her, so I'm in perfect thumping mode.
Sure, roll me a stealth roll.
Sure.
That went so well for me. Really.
You're less
17.
good at it. Okay,
I'm
So
quite
you,
good at
like-
this.
maneuver yourself. Again, you're doing the Kronk sneak.
Yeah, I'm like do. Which Tromlin can't see this, but I'm doing some good
Yep.
sneaking.
Yes.
But the audience can.
Yeah.
The audience can see, in the mind's eye, we all see the dotted outline of Ugna, right? As you do the. Excellent. Okay, so next up is Dave. So you've got
Yes.
these guys are so shocked, he's just standing there, and you can do something first before he does.
Right. Well, and I don't know who any of these people are. I don't know what
Nope.
this bird is. I don't know any of these people. As far as I'm concerned, they're all enemies.
Yeah,
They're
the
all-
only people you can see, in fact, are the guards and the bird.
So I think what I probably want to do, tell me if this is available to me, is this repulsion shield, just to clear everyone away from me, so that I can clear a path to just escape.
Yeah, you can so you can spend a charge to push the guy in front of you up to 15 feet, and you can basically bowl him into the other two guys.
And would that like level the tent and everything? Like, would that clear everything away, or just
It's
just
more
people?
directional. It's more directional than that, so it'll shove him and blast in that direction, which like towards the door. So it would basically probably flap the tent flaps open.
So
But if
he's
you-
between me and the door. This
Yeah.
guard. Okay.
And you
So
can
yeah, I think
send
that's
him
what I want
flying
to
into
do.
the other guards.
That's what I want to do. I want to send them flying toward the other guards, knock out the guards,
Perfect.
have them all on the ground, and then try and go through them out the door, out the rest of the camp. Because once I get out into the open air, maybe I can use my rocket boots and I can kind of get some altitude.
Excellent.
That's my plan.
Would repulsion even work on Glorpa?
Well, it's technically it hits a target.
Okay.
Oh, so actually,
I mean, I'm kind of on them.
David, this is actually something you can do with a reaction
Oh,
when he attempts to attack you, which means you actually have the option of holding on to your regular action in order to do something else immediately afterwards.
Because here's my other option instead of this is instead of doing repulsion shield is thunder wave. Because thunder wave is omnidirectional, right?
I believe so.
The wave of thunderous force. Each creature in the 15-foot cube must make a Constitution saving throw. Then they take thunder damage and are pushed 10 feet away. Now this would catch everybody in range, I presume.
Yeah. That would catch your friends, or well, you don't know that
Well,
you're
they're not
friends.
my friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't know.
Certainly
these
not.
idiots.
you can't
That
even
would
see
catch
any of
everyone.
us.
But anyway,
Yep.
but go back to the thing about the reaction. See what that's about. Let's see
So-
if that's a better choice.
Yeah, because if you want to, basically what you can do is hold your action, and when the guy comes to sort of when the guy comes
He's
comes
gonna come
at
after
you,
me, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
you
Then I have
basically would
another
use
action at that point.
you would use your reaction to do the repulsor shield thing, and then you would still have an action
Right,
to
but
do
I-
something else.
But at this point in the narrative, I don't know that he's going to come after me, so I wouldn't. Would I think to hold my action?
It
Or
seems pretty likely.
Maybe I'm in the if I'm in a defensive stance, waiting for him to come for me. I feel like this Well, my character is probably more inclined to just try and press the advantage.
I'll say you did try to beef him up to do a negotiation. So you might be
That's
willing
right.
to sort of wait for a moment and be like, does he do what he's supposed to do and like
That's
now
true.
try to negotiate, or is
Sure.
he attack?
Although if there's these two other guards, I will say the negotiation thing was a little bit of a ruse because I wanted to get him in his head a little bit, to get him a little bit less aggressive, such that
Yep.
I could then do other things. But I mean, I'll so I'm in the tent. The chains are off. I'm fully mobile. I've got all my little doodads. This guy is, I've got the fart knife. Let's not forget.
Let's not forget who's holding the fire.
You're holding it
Yep.
in your gadget
Very
hand.
important to have.
Holding him in my gadget hand.
Probably holding it like this.
Yeah, and I mean, listen, the gadget hand doesn't care about the fart knife. It's inanimate. It's also my farts. Like that's because I cast the spell. Your own farts never smell as bad, right? So this is my.
yeah.
And let me just tell you, this man's diet, not great.
The flavor
great.
of turtle farts.
Yeah, it's
not-
not great.
A lot of fish.
It's aromatic.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think this works. He's going to go next, and as you're waiting for him to return to you with negotiation, he does in fact choose not to do that,
He chooses to lunge at
and
me.
instead he lunges to try and grab you by the throat. And you go, all right, now that I'm no longer chained up, I'm just going to move my arm, and the armor of your shell now does like an Iron Man thing where it constructs this shield that appears now on your arm in between you and him, and there's a blast of energy that sends him flying back 15 feet. Because you only used your reaction to do that, you may now also cast Thunder Wave
Yeah,
and push them even further and push him a total of 25 feet.
I'm gonna do that, and so now that I'm blasting him back, I'm following him. I'm moving out. I'm to escape. So as soon as I
I'm
get
getting
closer,
over there.
as soon as I get close to someone else, I'm gonna do that thunder wave. I'm just gonna blast my path
Excellent.
clear.
So he goes flying. Roll me a d20. We're going to treat this as a ranged attack and see whether he immediately bowls down the rest of them.
14.
That'll do it. I'll give you at least some bonus on that ranged attack. If only your dex bonus, that's already a 17, which beats their armor class. So he goes flying back, bowls into the two other guards who are still standing, completely uncertain what they should do. They're like, the demon bird is on our heads and it wants to hang out on us, but we heard a crazy noise, and then also this guy seems to be escaping or something, and it stinks. So it's it's kind of hard to really wrap their heads around that.
Like a Tuesday.
Yeah. And so this guy bodily smashes and they all fall over, and then as you run forward, there's an explosive roll of thunder and a blast in a 5 foot,
Look, this turtle's
No,
farts are really powerful.
15 foot.
They're just
15 foot
very
cube.
Yeah. That
And
blasts through.
every creature must make a Constitution saving
Yep.
throw.
So this is going to include Copernicus and Glorpa are going to make Constitution saving throws, as well as the guards. And I'm going to give the guards disadvantage because they've just been knocked down. So it makes it that much harder for them to keep their feet.
You add
Okay.
to a Constitution. Constitution.
Your Constitution
call.
saving throw, yeah. So under your saving throws, you have a bonus. For you,
Nat
it is
20.
+2. Nat 20 for
Alright.
who?
For Perny, which
Excellent.
makes it 22.
Nice.
Nice. 16 over here.
What was the difficulty on that? It is a Constitution saving throw. Oh, it's going to be the spellcasting DC for Tan, which is a 15. So what was your total?
16.
So you just made it. One of the guards makes it, one of the guards fails, but the other guard is on a successful save. They still take half damage. So Dave, can you roll 2 8-sided dice for me?
Absolutely. I've got a 6 and a 1.
Okay, so 7. I have to ask, although it's not necessarily gonna be great for our friends here. Did you want to cast that at first level or second? Because you have the option to make it a more powerful spell.
No, I think first level is sufficient. These guys are
Okay.
not super powerful. I think I
Yeah.
can save my energy.
It only changes the damage. The push is the same either way.
Yeah, I don't think it's necessary.
So in that case, the failed saving throw takes 7 damage. Everybody else is going to take 3. So Glorpa and Copernicus, you each take 3 damage. And all 3 of the guards go like sprawling and flying. 2 of them, the one that was thrown back from the shield, and that was the interrogator, and one of the others, go completely flying through the tent flaps and out the door. The other one was sent sprawling to the side and kind of rolled a couple feet, but is still within the tent. And basically, he's tripped over. He's like lying with one leg over top of Copernicus in a heap in the doorway. Um, and
You know the prank
then
where
outside-
you like push someone over top of someone backwards, like you sneak up behind someone and then someone pushes them and you trip them?
Yep.
This is like a really intense version. I have an invisible
Yep.
lump on the ground behind the guards who were force blasted through
Yes.
the air past and over me. I think this is great. This is a perfect prank.
And
Classic.
then basically
Grandpa and
the
his little
whole front,
pranks.
that whole front part of the tent around the entrance is like blasted open. Like the canvas is ripped and it's just like boom, wide open. There is like a peal of thunder. Like this has definitely been heard throughout the camp.
I'm guessing
so meanwhile,
Shaelyn is
outside-
reacting to this.
Yeah,
Should
outside.
I make a
Shaelyn and
performance check to
Rosie.
act surprised?
Yeah, Rosie and Shaelyn, you're basically facing each other on either side of this explosion. As like 2 guards go flying and tumbling past.
So romantic.
This
And,
is
Can I actually make a roll?
She was literally thunderstruck.
Yeah. Can I actually do a performance
Excellent.
so that legally I've been hurt and thrown to the ground to distract her?
this is also a very good
Oh, for
chance
sure.
for me to hit her in the side of the head because clearly it was the explosion and not an invisible wrestler.
Oh yeah, I don't know if Grandpa Perny warned you that you'll become visible if you do that, but
Oh, right.
we'll see.
Nope.
You
What is
did.
it?
You did.
Okay.
You did.
Oh, okay,
you
right.
did warn. You did explain how the spell worked last time.
Right.
Whether or not
23,
Ugna remembers.
23
Okay.
to act like I've been hurt and thrown.
A 23 acting roll here. So Tromlin, as Rosie. Rosie, even though technically Rosie was outside the blast area here, does an amazing sort of like quick lunge forward to look like Rosie was like running towards
Shaelyn.
and then spins artfully as though like blasted by this wind, and then actually does a spin across the space to close some of the space and like collapse, artfully. Oh no, I have been harmed. Closer to Shaelyn than the guards are on that side, and Shaelyn will absolutely take the bait and run forward to grab and protect Rosie.
Good.
So Ugna, you're still holding action. Are you going to do anything here, or are you going to?
Not if it looks like she's taking the bait.
Watch and
I'm
wait.
gonna let Tromlin work his magic.
Do you want to maneuver yourself anywhere?
Yeah, the 2 guards, they just came flying out the door and are like skidding.
Lying in a heap on the other side of the little not clearing, but open space where
Be right
the
back,
tree
my
is
child
and the
vanished.
stores.
Can I
Yep,
go
no
over
problem.
and like invisibly put a foot on their coats?
If they try to get up and you interfere,
That's
that's
true,
going to
they'd
count as
probably
an attack
count it,
and it's going
yeah.
to break the invisibility. But
Sounds
you don't
good.
know that.
I don't know that.
You're
And
not
also,
really sure how it works.
I will go over near them just in case I need to deal with them.
Okay.
It looks like
And sort of like-
Tromlin's got Shaelyn.
Just wait.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. You're sitting on quite a few inspirations now. You're full up.
Yeah, yeah.
If you are willing to drop 2 inspirations, what I would point out is the other side. They've tumbled like a full 25 feet, basically 15 feet from the front of this tent. So they're basically on the other side of this little open pavilion. And on the other side, there's the back of another tent.
Right.
So if you want to like break your invisibility, there's nobody here right now who would be able to see you other than distracted Shaelyn and the 2 guards. So if you want to, I would let you do like a tumble grab to basically drag these guys under the wall of the tent and take them somewhere more private.
For a small talk.
But
God.
That's very
Why-
cinematic. I do like that.
I need an acrobatics check. Because that's a pretty funky maneuver. You're
How
doing
does an
there.
18
Or,
sound?
is that the raw roll or the total?
Nope. That's the total.
Because I was just going to say I might actually let you use athletics for this. So
Oh, okay.
if that's the total, you actually have another +6 on that.
Yeah, I do. So,
And I'll have you roll a
what's a
stealth.
24?
I'm going to have you roll me a stealth with advantage.
Okay.
To do this while
Without being
Shaelin's
seen.
like back is turned. You've got the distraction of Tromlin,
Yep.
and the fact that you're starting invisible to kind of
Uh-huh.
make this work for you.
That is a 19 with advantage,
Okay.
which is good because my one roll was like a 4.
Does Shaelyn notice? No. Just. Shaylyn's got an 18 total on the perception. So you just pull this off. So you basically see these 2 tumble like right up against the canvas of the other side. And you notice that like from the blast of wind and thunder and damage, that tent, like maybe one of the tent stakes pulls up and there's a bit of a flap. And you dive and grab these guys and slide like a head first slide in home plate underneath the wall of that tent. And you are now inside that tent and you crash into a bunch of storage crates.
Good.
But you've got one of these guys in each fist. And that leaves Copernicus.
I think I am going to hold action. I might. So have I been physically blasted away from the?
No, you made your saving throw, so you didn't get moved. You just took some damage.
Am I close to him?
Sorry, close to who?
To the turtle. To Tan. We're friends. He doesn't know it yet, but we're friends. So I
Yeah,
can
you're
call him
still you're
Tan.
back about 10 feet away from him, where you
Okay.
where you were before.
I am going to try to get close to him and like whisper, stage whisper as loud as I can in his ear, like hold on, you are amongst friends, and we need to see how this meeting will go, and just whisper that mysteriously in his ear and see if he pauses or stops.
Their ghostly voice has spoken to you.
Mhm. And I don't know if I can hold an action on top of that or not, but otherwise that's what I'll spend my turn doing.
I mean, you
wanna slow this
can,
down.
except that you're last. So if
Oh.
you don't use your action, it's just gonna go away at the end of the round.
Okay.
You can, because you still have an action, you can speak more clearly than that if you want to say more. You can basically spend your action to talk.
No, I think that's a good level of confusion to have imparted.
So, well, that takes us back to the top of the round. And Glorpa, you are no longer have a perch. You're now kind of flapping in the air.
Yeah, I actually
you're-
I flap right over on top of Perny, if that's okay. Even though I
Perny's still
heard
invisible.
the whisper, so I kind of know where he is. Right, I heard the whisper though, so I kind of like clamber. Could I have heard the whisper? I
Sure.
don't know how big this tent is. All right,
No, that's fine.
clamber until I find his head and sit on it.
So David,
Mhm.
you hear this voice
Mhm.
of someone totally new
Mhm.
saying, "You're among friends. We want to see how this meeting turns out."
Mhm.
And then the raven with the glowing eyes flies over and lands on nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But you are a clever and well-versed in magic fellow. So what I would like you to do is roll me a dice, and I'm going to give you your intelligence bonus. I
Did
might
give him a
even,
slow wink as well, just to
yeah, the
nod.
bird's
Doing
going to
like the
wink.
bird equivalent of
Still
like.
licking the beak over and over and over.
So roll me a
Turn on the
d20.
friend.
Okay. 10.
So that would be a 14. I'm gonna get you to re-roll that. I'm gonna basically. We never put you in the list here, but you should technically have inspirations as well.
Okay.
And this is a kind of a key moment. Did you
This
get
is a-
better or worse?
Not better.
Okay.
It was a 1.
Well, keep the 10. You
You might just
aren't
think it's a
certain.
talking bird.
Yeah, basically you aren't certain. You think either there's an invisible person standing there. You know the invisibility spell.
Yeah.
And when a voice whispers to you out of nowhere, it's more
Is it-
likely to be an
Is there
invisible
like
person than a
footprints and
ghost.
stuff? Like, is there, is he making
Um,
effects on the environment?
Oh, actually, wait a second. I am
He
changing up
drawn the
what that
dirt?
roll was for. No, I'm going to change that to a perception roll.
Mm-hmm.
So
I was
instead of a
wondering,
14, you have a 15, because you have the as like the lensy thing that like is attached to one of your eyes as part of your stuff. You have true seeing. So you actually make out the outline of an invisible person. When you hear this voice, you go, "Wait a second," and your little gem lens goes into place, and you realize that there is in fact an invisible old man sitting underneath that bird.
Mm-hmm. As all old men should be.
Sitting under a bird.
All right. So this is what's going through my mind. What's going through my mind is I still don't know what's going on. I don't know who any of these people are. I just gained my freedom, and
Whoa.
my plan has been to escape. So now there's someone else telling me something. I'm not certain that I want to get involved in this.
There's more. I have to give you
Oh.
more information with your true
Oh.
seeing, because you also see the true form of the raven.
Ooh.
Oh, it's getting even stranger.
Yeah. So, so you've been in this camp long enough to know that all the people here are like these barbarians who wear a particular uniform. They basically have bare chests with a tattoo of a knife on it, and they all wear like the same kind of furs and leathers.
Very burly.
They're kind of like a cult.
Yeah, they're hot.
These people are completely different. There's a little old man in like, he has a very friendly face and he's wearing like fishing gear.
And he's carrying
Basically,
a book, I've learned.
Yep.
and he's carrying a giant book. He's basically like the little old man from Up.
If he was
Um,
going fishing.
If he was going fishing. And the bird sitting on his head, you realize, is a shape-shifted person. And it's an elderly, an older woman who
Extremely
is
sexy.
Yeah.
who's like kind of like slimy and dripping with like swamp muck and kind of
Charisma.
blue skinned.
I mean, you can see the
Also
overlay. She's hot.
And yeah,
It's
if
a
you look at the overlay,
manifestation of
you
your
can see
knife
the drawings.
smell.
Yeah, okay, so this is so my train of thought here is clearly something is weird. And
Yes.
clearly they have some knowledge or some understanding of the situation, which is what I was trying to learn from the beginning.
Yep.
And they're entreating me to try and stop and help, and so here's my question for you. Should Peter have to test his persuasion
Ooh.
against me?
So general rule of thumb in D&D is that we don't require those kind of rolls between players, but you can call for one. So if you want to
Because
kind of
I'm
say,
not convinced. Honestly, I'm not convinced.
Yeah.
I have a very strong self-preservation instinct. I haven't been out there on sailing the skies by stopping and checking every weird thing that happens, because let me tell you, brother, there's a lot of weird things happening.
so absolutely, you can call for
Did you
Peter.
just become Macho Man Randy Savage?
All of a sudden, he's like Hulk Hogan. All right, listen here, brother.
Oh yeah! It's
That's
like
my
a
shtick.
I can roll a
D&D
persuasion.
game.
Good.
Yep. So a persuasion roll from Copernicus is very appropriate here. And also, Malki, I will get you to roll an insight check
Okay.
for sort of
Alright.
your own kind of
How friendly do
figuring
these
out
folks
what's going
seem?
on here.
Yeah.
On a D20.
Yeah.
That's an 8 for me.
Okay, so you're not
Not doing
super
great.
certain. That's a
Not
10
doing
total. How did Copernicus roll?
So knock the wasted 20 counter up one.
That's not
27.
wasted at all. So a natural 20. So
27.
here's the thing. Here's the thing, Tan. Tan
You look
is
at this
not.
sweet old man's face.
Yeah, you're not particularly certain what's going on here. Your insight isn't really helping you much. You're clearly you've figured out that these invisible and shape-changed people
Something is
are
afoot.
not with the other people.
Sure.
So, but you're really uncertain what their motives are. However, look at that sweet old face. He's just this friendly old man and his little old shape-changed friend.
you.
He's like the
Just yelling
friendly
into
old
the
soul
top of my
grandpa.
lungs. And so I'm now directing to what I know is like a swamp lady and an invisible man. But to anyone else looking, I'm talking to a bird and nothing. So
Yeah,
I'm
bird-
clearly
bird
addressing.
is unnaturally hovering
I'll
in the
hear
air.
you out. I'm shouting at this bird who's sitting on nothing.
Okay, this is just confusing the hell out of the guard on the floor. Okay, excellent. So Glorpa, you can take an action if you want beyond your movement. I don't know if you want to do anything
did-
else.
Tan just yell. I didn't quite catch what he hollered at me.
All right, I'll hear you out.
All right, cool. First of all, I want to tell you that I had a dream about you last night or whatever night.
4
No,
minutes ago.
that was like a few minutes ago. That was like 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, that was a night to me
Not the
because I was
first time
taking
I've
a little
heard
nap.
that, but go on.
Cool.
So the bird
That's
this.
all.
Yeah.
I just know that you seem like you're in trouble, and that's why we came over here. We want just, I don't know. You seem like you're in trouble and having some problems, but it looks like you could probably handle yourself, huh?
I mean, that's my immediate conclusion, but but your voice is different. Let me just say, with previously that whisper, I thought that was you because you're the only one. But but no, the old man, because clearly there's an old man.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, he's right down here. I start pecking at his
yeah,
head a little bit.
get to the brain. That's the delicious
Yeah.
part. But okay, so I appreciate Tell me how you did help though, because I'm not totally
I didn't
sure that.
really.
Yeah, I kind of.
I think
I mostly.
no. I was watching you. You did some impressive shit. So I don't have those like arms and or anything
Yeah,
like
my arms
that.
come
You
out
did
and
pretty
just do,
good.
like 19 thumbs up.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good. I clap my wings together weirdly. There's a few more of us. One's outside. Is dressed up. He's dressed up like some bitch's ex-girlfriend, and then there's
no,
an
yeah, I can
invisible,
see
really
the-
like hulking.
I mean, I can see everything here with
see 'em?
because of my special
Alright, cool.
vision. Yeah, this
Oh, you can see the invisible bitch
right because
too.
for some reason there's also this person is dressed up is like a lady, but is not really a lady. That's some kinky
Yeah.
shit. I don't want to get involved. If this is like
No,
a
you should definitely get
if
involved.
this is like some like bedroom like stuff like where I'm not like I'm good. I'm pretty I'm content with where I am romantically. So I don't really want to. I'm flattered. Honestly.
You got a lot of hands. So.
Yeah, all the hands are doing this everywhere. They're all doing this. But do you tell me what you know about these bandits and why like what's their larger motive?
Oh
here? Because that's what
yeah,
I'm trying to
no,
figure
they
out.
super suck. I haven't really been paying attention to why, but we're all going after him. My whole group, the invisible like tough girl and the cross dresser, and the
I appreciate that you don't know
the-
why, but you're still going along with it. 'Cause that feels like there's
I'm just friends with these guys.
okay. No, friendship is important.
Yeah.
I think we're all friends here, except for the.
Oh, you did.
Perny visibly
scratching at Perny's
miles
head.
so wide.
You can
Okay,
talk
well-
too, by the way, Peter. Remember, you can talk without breaking your invisibility.
Yeah.
And he can see you.
Yeah, I'm
So-
looking right at him. I'm looking
Yeah.
like directly like in his eyes, very unsettlingly.
So I'm gonna I'm gonna come up closer and whisper like, okay, so the lady out there is the
You can
leader.
just talk normal.
Oh, Okay, I just don't want her to hear because this is our secret plan, and she's
You don't want the crow to
15
hear? I
feet
thought
away.
you were friends with the crow.
No, the crow's good. I mean, the lady out there.
I mean, the crow was just talking normal.
Yeah.
And you could talk normal too.
Yeah.
I don't hear great.
I think none of us should be talking normal, is what I'm gonna say.
Oh, you
I
think
think
we
we
should
should-
be quiet?
We should all say our secret plan quietly. Yes.
Oh, okay, yeah, no, you're right. Let's hear the secret plans. Let's be quiet about it.
Okay. Okay.
Secrets
Cool.
are important to keep secret.
Very
That's
very
why
important.
they're called secrets.
Yes, that is how they get their
I
name.
pop up and close the flaps of the tent. Is that okay for me to
The
do?
whole front
I'm just
of the
gonna do
tent
that.
is gone.
Oh,
Yeah,
never mind. I'm not even
A
gonna
thunder
try.
wave
I
went
turned
through
on
it.
the look.
As far as I'm concerned. I think our voice is like reverberating off the hill.
I think this is probably a good. I'm going to just quickly. So while this conversation was happening, other things are going on.
Probably.
Meanwhile, Ugna is next, but I'm going to kind of skim over that a bit.
I'm
Ugna
gonna.
is,
You know what
is
I'm doing? I'm
fighting two
coconutting
guys.
those two guys into each
Yeah,
other.
make me some d20 rolls.
Yep.
Make me one for each hand. We're going to do some grapple checks. And at the same time, so the next thing up is Tromlin. So Tromlin, Shaelyn has you in her arms now.
Okay.
And you can see that the entire front of the tent is burst open. There's one guard. The other two guards have disappeared, having been blown away, and there's one guard still lying confusedly on the ground, trying to decide what to do, as the turtle man is discussing stuff with nobody and the hovering bird that is now, you realize, clearly perched on the head of your invisible grandfather. But the grandfather is still invisible. And the turtle is having a conversation with them. And Shaelyn is at least momentarily more interested in you.
That's fair.
So what do you want to do about things?
I'm going to try to make her more concerned and hopefully get her to get me out of this area and leave her before she leaves the area too. So I guess that'd be another performance check.
Excellent. That is a great idea. Let's call this persuasion, because you've already successfully performed as this character.
Persuasion is 10, so
Yes, it is. Time for the charmed speech to do something.
25.
25. Excellent.
My main goal is to just wall my head back so she sees how bad the scar looks and act like I'm unconscious.
If you're unconscious, you're not going to be able to particularly direct what she's going to do.
Fair enough. I'll just say, okay, I'll lull my head back like I'm exhausted and go mutter, try to get here as fast as could, and just act delirious. So she's like, obviously I need medical attention and need to be taken away from this combat.
Do you want her to take you somewhere, like in a specific direction?
I don't know how to please take me to the far side of the camp. There's no way to do that
Sure.
and not be suspicious as fuck.
Well, no, but what I'm saying is you actually could cast suggestion and just give a specific. You have the free suggestion once a day as your
I guess
part of your
suggestion
famous.
is try to convince her that I need to be taken away from this combat because I'm already very badly wounded.
I am going to go ahead and roll her saving throw.
20.
No.
Nat one?
Yay!
She
Thought
really
it was a
believes that you're
7.
Rosie.
I briefly dyslexically thought it was a 7, and I was like, oh, that's not going to do it. And then I realized, no, it's going the other way. That's a 1. Okay, so, heck, you can even be like,
He lives right here
take
right
me
now.
yeah, take me somewhere where we can be alone. Or whatever.
Yeah.
Take me over
I'm
to
gonna act
that
like I'm exhausted
specific
and
wall.
dehydrated. Yeah. I'm gonna act like I'm exhausted and dehydrated, and I've been looking for her for weeks.
Okay, this seems like a very reasonable suggestion, so this is, 100% this is going to work.
Obviously, your men can take care of this.
Oh yeah, I mean, you're in the middle of their armed camp, and not worried. It's like a prisoner. There's like this one guy in there, right? She doesn't know about
We
anybody
just-
else.
We just blew the fucking tent. Okay.
So, yeah, this is a concentration spell, so you can keep it going. If it's like an ongoing thing, so getting you to safety can be sort of an ongoing thing. So it will pursue the course of action, or she will pursue the course of action you described to the best of her ability. Yeah, so she's gonna get you to safety,
All right.
and as long as she doesn't take any damage from you or your friends, she will continue to do this.
Ugna.
Yep. Nope.
Ugna's not even there. You don't even know. You're like, Ixnay, Ugne.
Last
And so we can get back into the conversation then in there. What are your dice rolls there, Alina? Just real quick for the grappling. See how that goes.
Oh, with the totals, 18
With your
and a dirty
plus
20.
11.
Yeah. Oh no,
those are pretty low rolls for you.
sorry, that I was doing the +8, so add an extra couple
3.
on there. Yeah, an extra 3.
So 21 and 23. Yeah,
Yeah.
you definitely beat them. And then I believe that you get to just do a bunch of damage to them while you have them grappled.
I'm just gonna have them both in like a headlock and just kind of do like a sleeper hold and be like, no, shh, shh, shh.
All right. In which case, roll me your. Okay, so that can be done as a bonus action. So roll me,
Yep.
roll me 1d4, or sorry, 2d4 damage each.
Holy crap.
2d4 plus your +5 strength.
That is 5
no,
plus
sorry,
5.
that's gonna have-
It's 10 on the first one and 10 on the second one.
Okay.
4 and a 1 and a 3 and a 2 plus my 5.
Excellent. Do you want to action surge that and just keep seeing if you
Yes.
can actually put them full on to sleep
Yes,
in one round?
correct.
All right. So roll again in
Yep.
case they. Don't even bother.
Okay, cool.
My high roll between the two of them was an 8.
Ooh, so that's a 4
Your
and a...
bonus is 11.
Yeah.
So yeah, just if you don't roll your natural ones, it's
So
all good.
13 damage on the one and 13 damage on the other. I rolled exactly the same.
And so what did you do the first time on each of them?
Uh,
There's a doggy.
10. I did 5 and 5 for each of them. So 10 for the first one and 13 on the second.
23 each.
Yup.
I'm definitely going to, at the very least, consider that they are firmly distracted and unable to get involved in anything else.
Unable to
I didn't
yell.
know you had a dog, Danielle. Is this a visiting dog?
I don't. Luke just came over.
Oh,
I kind of part-time have a dog. This is Joma.
he just shows up. Aw.
Beauty.
Also, Peter, your dog has been nothing but adorable this whole game. He's just been flopping around.
Yeah, he's a sleepy
Aw.
little otter.
Oh.
Meanwhile, all the birds have learned that when the partition goes up, it's time to just say, well, I'm just going to hang out over here and sleep. So they're all taking it easy. Pets showing up on stream has been a very much a theme.
Very good.
So
also,
we're going to pick up.
Yeah, it is
Yep.
5.
Yeah, I was just going to say, we're going to
Yeah.
pick up with the conversation in the tent next, but let's take our break first.
Yeah.
This is a good time for a break.
Quick 10-minute break, get some food, go to the bathroom.
Yeah, we'll pick it up at 1:15 or so. So we will be back. Oh,
Sweet.
stream audience.
In 10 minutes.
All right. Ooh. And actually, I think Luke brought over